Okay, anytime you've got a new player coming into a game, you have to remember that money goes in between the betting spots. And if you happen to come into the game and the dealer is in the middle of a shuffle or in the middle of a deck, they may ask you to wait. If not, or in the middle of a shoe, they may ask you to wait. It's more of a card counting, anti-card counting measure than anything else. So if they ask you to wait, you just wait, but when they're done with a hand and it's your turn to play, your money goes in the middle. The dealer's going to put the money up here in front. And in this case, the blues are worth 500, the blacks are worth 1,000. I would drop one back into the player's spot. Again, this is our fantasy casino program, and we play for a little higher stakes, and the guests get a $5,000 bank to play with, courtesy of their host for the evening. The money goes over here on the side, and you get rid of it, and then everybody plays. Another thing too, the dealer would do at this point, if you were in a real casino, it doesn't apply to the fantasy thing, but in a real casino, the dealer would put the money before they drop it over here to the side, or while it's still out here in front, and they would call, and the person would have a player card to go along with it, and that's how they're going to track their comps. So they would call the attention of the pit boss. They would say player card, card tracking, whatever, phrase the house has come up with to alert the people that there's something that needs to be done on the table. And the pit boss would then come and pick up the player card and take it over and enter the information into the computer to let the house knows that that player has bought into this game for $50, $100. Usually it's got to be $100. And it's the same as putting the card into the slot machine to track your play. And that's how you build up your comps. Comp is short for complimentary. 15 against a 10 is going to stay 15. We're going to hit one of these. 19. Again, 6 against a 10, but it's soft. 18. 11 against a 10. We're not going to double down, but you could if you wanted to. And sure enough, there's the card. And another 10 over here. 15. And dealer has 20. So this one is a loser. This one is a winner, loser, loser, and loser. So comp is short for complimentary. Those are the little bennies that the house is going to give you for being one of their favorite players. And the reason, or the method that they use to track you for being their favorite player now is the player cards. So if there's a house that you play at on a regular basis, it's very much to your advantage to get that player card and use it. My mom and dad, God love them, were not real heavy gamblers, but Mom discovered dollar slot machines later on in life. And they went to Las Vegas for a cultural festival. My younger brother, was a steward for United Airlines, so they would get their airline paid. And they decided to go down for this thing, and Mom started playing dollar slots at the old Stardust and did really well, and she got on their comp list. So from that point forward, like 2-3 times a year, they would get an offer from the Stardust to come on down to Las Vegas, and they'd give them free food and room, food and beverage for 3 days. So Mom and Dad got to the point of going 2 or 3 times a year because they enjoyed it, they liked it. Mom always did real well on the dollar slots, and they had a great time. Very seldom ever paid for room, very seldom ever paid for a meal. That's the average. Then you get into the people who play for really high stakes, and that's where you get your rooms, the high-end rooms, the thing they call the whale suites. Whale is a popular Vegas term for really high-end players. Those people usually set up a credit line beforehand. 18 against a 3 is going to stay, 19 is going to stay, 20 is going to stay, 21 is always good, and 20 is going to stay here. Dealer has 13, dealer has 19. This one's a winner. I should have taken those off the table, sorry about that. 20 is a winner, 19 is a push, and 18 is a loser. So while that credit line would get set up, and then when a person would get to the pit where they wanted to play, they would have to call, and they still do that, to get the cash ahead of time. It's just that in the good old days of gambling, cash wasn't as readily available through ATMs and things as it is now. I remember one time, well, let's finish this other part first. We were, so that anyway, the pit boss will then call the cage, get an advance on this person's credit limit. The money is brought to the table, the dealer counts it out, everybody does the paperwork. It's just a big process to go through. Some people like being the recipient of that process. It makes them feel like they're really important. But then some people like to play for really ridiculous amounts of money when they're gambling because it makes them feel important. So don't play that game until you really know and understand the rules of your game of choice. And that's just something you want to remember. So here we have 15 against a 9, 16, 14, 17, 20 is good and 18 is good, and dealer has 9, dealer has 17. So there we go, folks. Just a little more information on what comps are all about. Take advantage of them if they're in your favor.